Now we talk about big budgets, and I'd like to welcome on stage Mark Reed, the CEO of Digital from WPP, and Arndt Groth from Adconion, head of Europe. Let me ask you a question. I would like to make NOAH more popular. I want to fill a bigger room. I have a €1 million budget to advertise. With me as a customer, what can your company offer to me as online advertising products? And more importantly, what would you advise me to do?
Having seen your org chart, sorry, not your org chart, your agenda, which is the most
it's a small org chart.
The most creative agenda I've ever seen, you need no advice from us. I mean, we can help you in all areas of the marketing mix, from branding to social media. I mean, what a...
And how do you, if you look at WPP,
yeah,
which is a very large organization, and you're a rising star in the internet world, and you obviously build up your budget. You saw earlier companies like BigPoint presenting, which have developing advertising budgets going to the double digits. What products do you offer? What is the sweet spot? Because we know you as a media buying agency. What is the incentive to go to you and not to a kind of pure play specialist like an Adconion, or even direct to a Google?
Yeah, I think this, the serious point of what you say is, the truth is our largest customers are the Fords and Unilevers and Procters and Gambles of this world, though we do work with smaller companies like yours. And we help them, to some extent our strength is the combination of the traditional and the new. I mean,
so it's a mix that you get in your customer relationship, the old and the new?
Yeah, I mean, we spend $4 to $5 billion on digital marketing a year. So, or if you look at it another way, of our $15 billion of revenue, around 30% is from digital marketing.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right.
So it's size, and it is the full range of different products I would get at WPP. Arndt, tell us, because WPP is known to, I would say, the majority, tell us a little bit about Adconion, which is probably one of the largest independent online advertising, not anymore startup, it's a quite sizable business.
Thanks, Marco. Yeah. A big differentiation is that Mark is representing really the largest advertising agency group, and we are more on the sales side. We have founded 2005, and we were a pure performance play when we started, very much in display performance and retargeting. In the meantime, we developed a lot further on into exclusive site representation, like, for example, Xing, Demand Media, NetShelter, or others. And we have diversified. On the one hand side, it's performance. We're running a video network, a video premium network with Juiced. And on the other hand, we are into content licensing, branded entertainment, and content production. In many cases, if agency and advertiser likes us to do so. Plus, creating an own ad serving and targeting solution. We are now providing and licensing this platform on the one hand side to agencies, advertisers, and definitely for publishers as well.
What I'm excited about when it comes to advertising is to look at new formats. Imagining that a Facebook created social ads, imagining that I've seen people from SmartClip here, who's one of the biggest online video advertising network. We're seeing a lot of new formats. Display was the beginning. We had search, classified, obviously developed in parallel. But I'm excited to hear your views. We spoke about mobile before on the other panel, but I'm excited to hear your views about, or on video and social advertising, if you may.
I mean, I think our clients are very interested in video advertising. The only limit is the quality of the quality and quantity of the inventory. So the more quantity there is, the more they will spend. Social is more challenging because We have to figure out how to put the marketing message inside what is still, a personalized, generally a personalized medium. We're working it out. We run the Starbucks Facebook page that have 15 million people on it. We run one for Pringles that has more than 10 million people on it. So we run big campaigns on Facebook. But we just need to figure it's a creative task more than a media task there. A mobile, I think it will be, it's the most overhyped medium in the short term, the most underhyped medium in the long term.
So like Forrester estimated that e-commerce would hit a very large number, and they were very wrong in the early years and too conservative in the later years.
Like most forecasts.
Okay, Arndt.
Yeah, the real challenge here is if an advertiser has said in the past, okay, I'm running a performance campaign, search engine marketing, or display, or maybe moving into social media, we now have to integrate all different sectors of advertising, and on the other hand, making sure that we are counting reach and unique users properly, and that on the other hand, we're making sure that there's not too much wastage. So this is really important, and we think that we are pretty well positioned to do so because we have one combined technology that covers all different areas and make sure that we're running here very, very efficiently. But for us, for example, social media is by far not only branding, it's really very much about lead generation. You can add so much value to a campaign if you're not just running a display campaign, but extending that into social media. That's tremendous. And on the other hand, you can be very, very efficient and bring down the cost of acquisition by far.
Yeah.
So let's talk Google. Google is often a term used when it comes to advertising and search. I think in Europe they own 90%. In some countries it's literally the only provider. Given that you are a big advertising reseller and a big kind of media buying house, tell us a bit about, A, are you worried about Google? Or should we be worried about Google? And B, how do you work with it and how have you developed products benefiting from the big Google trend?
I mean, I think you would be naive never to worry about Google. So I think obviously we worry about that. I don't know if it keeps us awake every night, but we think about it a lot. We spend, I think $1 billion with them on search, and it's been fantastic for us from that perspective. So we have to work with them and take our clients there and build products with them. But we have to, they're immensely powerful, very intelligent company. Look at what they're doing with Android in mobile, the success they've had there. So it's a challenge.
Thank you, Arndt.
Yeah, the good thing is not only we are worried, but sometimes advertisers and other marketing partners as well. So that helps us together with the other market partners to come up with new solutions. And take only like the ad serving part with DoubleClick, and I have to be careful because I've worked more than 4 years for DoubleClick and I've enjoyed that prior to the Google acquisition. But sometimes publishers are just concerned to really use DoubleClick, Dart, DFP, and they are really actively looking out for other products. So I guess that we really share the concerns, as Mark said. It's a marketing partner. We buy sometimes from the Google Exchange as well, but we try to spread our arms into different other areas and try to really leverage it where we can and avoid it where it's possible.
I have a question about advertising pricing, which I find fascinating. If you look at ad pricing in the US, UK versus Europe versus emerging markets, where Poland, or let's say like Spain, is 6 times less expensive than the UK. If you look at Google AdWords or AdSense, and Latin America is 6 times less expensive than Spain. So what we see is a huge discrepancy worldwide in online advertising pricing, which probably is not only a function of the wealthiness of a country, but also of the maturity of an ad market. If you look at the projections of online advertising going forward, is pricing a big source of future growth?
You're more fascinated in this perhaps than I am, Marco. Look, Clearly, it has to be. I mean, you can't exactly arbitrage, though, a lead in Latin America to a lead in the UK. But clearly, because e-commerce is more developed and because of the competition in the marketplace, I guess prices are higher here. And I think, online advertising will grow in all markets, including the UK and including the US.
I mean, there's a huge spread. You're buying advertising on CPM level for a couple of cents, and on the other hand, you're buying advertising on a premium publisher for 40, 50 pounds. Nevertheless, I think we made lots of mistakes. There were a lot of amateurs out there. If you look into mobile advertising in Asia, it's less than £1 CPM. It's terrible. That's a medium, as we've just discussed, that's not even developed, and we already brought down the pricing to the floor. Or like companies who try to sell video advertising right away, not on a CPM level, but trying to sell it on a cost per click. This is ridiculous. But the more and more professional we get, and the more and more accepted these kind of advertising forms is, I'm still very confident that we'll keep up the levels, and especially adding targeting to those kind of campaigns, we still see significant CPM levels.
Can I make one more comment on pricing? Because I think the interesting thing on pricing is not to say the pricing across countries, but the pricing within a country. What we're trying to do at WPP is apply technology to the process of media buying. Traditionally, it's been applied to the process of media selling, by ad networks, but very infrequently to the process of media buying. We fax an order to an ad network and get stuff back. So I think what you're seeing with demand-side platforms and what the agencies are starting to do in technology, and we're doing with 24/7 Real Media, is trying to figure out actually what should we pay for things, not what are they people selling them to us for. So we can figure out, is a user on NewYorkTimes.com worth 30 times someone on Facebook.com? The answer is probably not. It's probably somewhere in between, which has some implications for Facebook positively and some implications negatively for the New York Times. So that's, I think the pricing point there is a kind of interesting way to go.
Okay. If you look at media usage, online is heading to be number one, depending on the country, of course, there are differences. But you think that internet, online, including mobile for later, is going to be the biggest advertising category in media?
I'm very confused by that, because we've heard today so far that TV viewing is not declining, Yellow Pages consumption is not declining. We haven't had anyone from a newspaper, but I'm sure more people are reading newspapers than ever before. So something very odd is going on, isn't it? I guess people are consuming more than one media at the same time, which explains the process. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Okay. Arndt, what are you excited about? Tell us about Adconion and where you see the biggest growth, the biggest demand from your clients. What product you have under your sleeve which is really going to make a difference?
Yeah, it's for the next couple of years. I think some may be surprised. I see email really growing again. We have $40 billion out there on direct marketing, direct response, and we have a huge arm on email and very focus on lead generation. That grows tremendously, and I'm pretty sure it will, because there's a shift from classic direct marketing to that. But if you're going back to normal advertising, it's really the combination on branded entertainment, use content. Sometimes we do even content production and combine that then with video delivery. And this combination between these different sides, it's really a full service offering. Now that we do this with almost 500 people worldwide and pretty quickly fast growing, it is something where we see us in a driver's seat, because with this still small company, we can just deliver all these different pieces a lot quicker. I mean, we are an agency, and we are not an agency where in most cases we get the orders from the media agency to the sales house. But we, for example, say, hey, could you add some production into that, or some brand entertainment? And even Mark, for example, with his huge conglomerate, being the largest advertising company, says, this is going to be a little difficult, and we have direct access to our own production company, to our own content contracts that we have and license. So that really makes us a lot quicker as I think, than many of the big companies out there.
What is at WPP the driving force of the new product development? What are your clients excited about, and what is maybe fascinating yourself?
What would excite us most is when we're no longer introduced as an advertising agency, but as a data, technology and marketing company. Because I think that is the future. You know, that is what our clients need.
On the analytical side also?
Analytics, yeah. Data, technology, analytics. I mean, if you look at WPP, of our $15 billion of revenue, 4 is in market research, you know, the analytics part of the business. There's another 2.5 in media planning and buying, which is really a data-driven bit, and there's another part in, you know, digital and direct marketing.
So next to obviously media buying, the creative side, you're becoming a advisory around marketing backed up by important data for future decision processes.
That I think is what clients need, and if we can, you know, the direction we're heading and the direction we're trying to take the business, and if we can do that, that will be, so no longer an ad agency, but something more interesting.
It's very interesting. Well, thank you very much. It was a very interesting discussion.
Thank you.